back to Breeders' Cup with the DRF app. The Daily Racing Form app is a highly rated, powerful tool that makes handicapping and wagering fast and easy, putting you in position to win big at the races. Register today to double your first deposit up to $250. Get the DRF app now. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Let's throw up the field for Saturday's feature race at Woodbine. It's the $250,000 Princess Elizabeth Stakes, biggest purse of Saturday's racing all across North America. We've got a field of 8 two-year-old fillies getting set to go 1.16 miles on the Tapeta surface. Dreaming of Drew, the number 4, is your 7-5 morning line favorite, coming off a good fourth-place effort in the Natalma. She gets blinkers. She's proven on synthetic, and in many ways, she is the horse to beat.
She is. I guess the real question for her would be distance, Dan. I suppose that could get her beat, but she's fastest on the way in, and she might make the early lead in here.
And that's a perfect segue for our Timeform US pace projector for this year's edition of the Princess Elizabeth. Dreaming of Drew, the 4, might be able to get to the front. Dance with Destiny, the 2, a second-time starting maiden, might show some speed. And the 7, Bodacious Miss, was a gate-to-wire winner going 5 furlongs. I have a feeling Bodacious Miss is going to have a say in the early pace, and there is a potential for a red bar fast-paced scenario. That's something to be concerned about if you're a Dreaming of Drew fan.
It's certainly possible that they go too fast early in this race, especially when you just consider a lot of these horses, they have something to prove going this long around 2 turns.
The number 1, El Bayern, would really appreciate a fast pace. Look what she did in her career debut. They were not afraid to run her in a stakes first time out, the Muskoka, and she came from way out of it at 23-1. She's on the far outside right now, and she just keeps kicking by her speed figure of only a 52, but she's so lightly raced. There's no reason to think why she can't improve. The 4th-place finisher of this race came back to run 3rd in a stake.
Yeah, you saw her come wide there up the turn. I don't know, Dad. I don't even think her rider thought she was going to win there through the upper stretch, but he just kept going, and she just kept kicking on towards the end there. The short comment says full of run. I don't think she was full of run there. I think she just stayed on best and got up at the end, but she pulled off a big upset, and she might have a similar setup here with a fast pace in front of her.
The 2, Dance with Destiny, will try the main track for the first time. She went off at a pretty big price for these connections in her debut, going a 1-turn mile and a 16th on the turf. She sat the pocket trip most of the way, went around a tiring pace setter, went back to the rail. She didn't have to like being down on the inside. I think she can improve here. I think a minor award might be her ceiling.
Yeah, I didn't hate her debut. It was on turf. I mean, to me, that was a closer's race. I think closers really did have the best of it in there. And she spent a lot of time chasing that pace and then just sort of stayed even down to the wire. But it's not like she got totally left behind in the stretch when the closers came along. I thought this horse actually ran okay first time out.
Back to synthetic for the 3, Malocchio, who really improved first time 2 turns in her most recent start. That was the Victoria Queen Stakes, where she won her maiden. Let's watch that race right now. She got a very nice trip. She sat in behind the leader. She eases to the 2 path. And this horse on the lead, Sunsprite, just gets real tired at the end, not to take anything away from the winner.
Yeah, I agree with you. Not to take anything away, but that leader did get tired, and this horse just had a perfect trip to take over. On the other hand, she stretched out effectively, got the 2 turns, and she was clear under the wire with a solid figure. So there's things to like about this horse.
Dreaming of Drew had similar trips in both the Catch a Glimpse and the Natalma Stakes, I thought. 2 starts back, she sat in the pocket. She wanted to come up the inside. She was forced to come outside of the pace setter, and she was just run down late by Alda, who's a pretty promising filly from the Graham Motion barn. And last time out in the Natalma, again, down towards the inside, tried to come up the rail, very late to change leads, and those horses might be just a little bit better. So she gets some class relief. She's going to stretch out with blinkers and speed, and she's proven on synthetic.
Right. I mean, I do think she's the horse to beat here. The distance is the real question. We'll see if she can get it. So far the Spidesters haven't seemed like horses that are stretching out effectively. I mean, there's been very few distance races for the 2-year-old, so it's pretty hard to tell. I just feel like this is the horse to beat in this race.
While I do agree with you that maiden race that produced Dance with Destiny really favored closers like the number 5, Bequia, I think Bequia might be a bit of a sleeper in this race. She was immediately taken down to the inside near the back of the pack. She ran in spots. I don't think she was really interested running inside. She was able to get off the rail, split some horses late, galloped out with some interest. I thought it was a sneaky good debut. Now she's got to handle Synth.
Yeah, I thought it was a useful debut as well. I didn't really hate either one of these two horses coming out of that October 3rd race, and felt like they could both be used because they're both big prices on the line, Dan.
Curlin's Catch, the number 6, goes out for the dangerous Marcassi barn. This Curlin filly sold for a lot of money back in April, and she made her career debut as the favorite, going a demanding 2 turns over this Tapeta surface. Let's watch the race right now. Curlin's Catch was on the outside. She made a 4-wide bid, as you see in the gold silks, to get within contention. She's going to forge to a very, very brief lead, and she's going to get run down and finish second. I think all in all, it was a useful debut. Does she have to improve off this race? Yes, but I think she's just the kind of filly with the pedigree and the connections that say, hey, second time out, she's going to move forward.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I thought she ran fine first time out, even though it wasn't a particularly fast race. She ran fine, and the distance is no problem for her. There's plenty to like about her. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say off of that race that we just watched, I'd be thrilled to take her as the favorite in here, or one of the favorites in here, but she can win this race.
Let's watch Bodacious Miss's solid career debut. Now, remember, this race is only 5/8 of a mile, but she showed fine early speed. She shrugged off her pace pursuer, and she went on to win. The 5th place horse came back to run second with a 63 Beyer speed figure. Justin Stein's having a career year at Woodbine, and maybe he's going to try to put Bodacious Miss on the lead stretching out.
Yeah, I thought this filly was interesting because I really thought she ran well first time out. Very easy speed in that race, and I liked the way she finished it off at the end. And you know what? She's bred to be better with more distance, Dan. So maybe it won't work out, but she's bred to do it. She's a Bodemeister, her half-sister, who was also trained by Steve Owens. It was a horse who won 4 stakes races, routing on synthetic. She was a real good horse. I just feel like this horse showed a lot of talent first time out. It makes me very interested in her in this race, although I realize stretching out from 5 to 8.5 could be a problem.
Emmeline completes this field. These connections have not been shy in trying her against some tough horses like Joyce Rocket and Alda. She's a maiden. She's running stakes races, and that string will continue on Saturday in the Princess Elizabeth. Now she gets to stretch out around 2 turns.
Yeah, I don't love that they're running her back in another stakes race here, but obviously her connections like her. She's going to have to take a big step forward in here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the $250,000 Princess Elizabeth Stakes. Bodacious Miss, Mike, do you think she goes to the top in here?
Yeah, I would assume they're going to show her speed. She just looked really fast to me in her career debut, Dan. So I feel like they will be forward with her in here. And I just felt like she looked good winning first time out. If she stretches out, I think she can go with these horses.
I think Curlin's Catch showed some potential first time out for Cassie. I wonder if he was using that race as a prep for this. He often does well second time out. So I think Curlin's Catch, if we get 7-2 or 3-1 on her, maybe that's fair. I want to see the 4-horse, the horse to be dreaming of Drew, stretch out in a fast-paced scenario with a horse like Bodacious Miss, perhaps right on top of her when they turn into the lane. You're going 7-4-2-6. I'm going 6-4-3-5. It's the Princess Elizabeth. It's the feature at Woodbine on Saturday, and as an approximate post of 5:15 Eastern, best of luck.
Bet the Breeders' Cup with the DRF app. The Daily Racing Form app is a highly rated, powerful tool that makes handicapping and wagering fast and easy, putting you in position to win big at the races. Register today to double your first deposit up to $250. Get the DRF app now.